Hi everybody, this is Book S Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing a Throwback Thursday review on the Neca Resident Evil Crimson Head Zombie figure. So before we take a look at the Crimson Head Zombie, let's go ahead and take a look at the accessories that he comes with. So first up you get the base, and this does help the zombie to stand because of the way his feet are posed, and he stands on there really well. And finally you get the zombie dog, and the detail on this is amazing. The sculpt of the fur looks really good. You get some brown variation in the paint right here on the belly, by the mouth, and on the paws. And of course you get the parts where it's torn apart right here with the muscle exposed. And the gloss red that Neca used on that looks really good. You can see the spine showing right here and a bit of the skull. This is detailed very, very well. And surprisingly, it actually has articulation. The head can look up, it can look down, it can move side to side, spin all the way around, and you can even open its mouth. And you can see all of the detail painted and sculpted in there. So yeah, Neca did a fantastic job on this. My only complaint is that it doesn't stay standing up. It is not very even on its feet right here. It always just wants to roll. So maybe you can kind of get it on the base right here. Nope, it still falls over. So yeah, this does look really cool, but it constantly falls over because of the way it's sculpted. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the Crimson Zombie and the head sculpt on it. Neca did a phenomenal job on this head sculpt. The attention to sculpt and paint detail on this is crazy. All of the different textures on it, the torn skin, and the muscles they're showing, that looks really good. You get a little bit of skin tone right here around the nose and brows, and that looks really good. There's actually quite a few different tones of red here. I think the base color of the skin tone is done in pink and has this really, really dark red over top of it, and then this glossy red for the blood. And that looks really good. You also get this purplish color for the veins. It's very faint, but you can actually see that they're painted on throughout the head there. And that looks really good. Just all of the different tones really work on this. It's just incredibly detailed and painted. I especially love the glossy red that Neca used for the blood. That looks really good. The suit is equally as detailed. The base color is a dark brown and it has this light brown wash over top of it. The blood on the suit looks really nice. I like how it gets darker as you go up to the face where it's more torn up. That looks really good. You can see the left arm, which is just shredded. You can see where the jacket itself is shredded and just barely connected right here. That looks really good. Like I said, the attention to detail on this with the blood and the glossy red paint, that looks really good. The exposed muscles and everything, that looks very nice. You get the very long claws on each hand. Just like with the jacket, the pants are done in a dark brown color and has some light brown paint over top of it on the wrinkles. You get some slight texturing as well. You get some gloss red right here where the knee is showing. And even the legs and feet are incredibly detailed. All the different tones of red and that light purple color for the veins, that looks really good. And if you take him off the base, you can see that they even textured the bottoms of his feet. So even though you are going to have him on the base, they did sculpt and paint the bottom of his feet really well. There's not an inch of this figure that doesn't have some intricate sculpt and paint detail to it. And there's the back if you want to see that. I especially love towards the bottom of the suit right here where you can see that it's tearing and fraying apart. That looks really good. Neca did such an awesome job on this. So for the articulation is going to be very limited because it's more of a statue like most of the Neca figures from this time were. So he has a ball-jointed head that can barely move up and down. It moves up and down very slightly. The head moves side to side very slightly. I feel like this is one of those translucent plastic joints, so you definitely don't want to move this around too much. He has ball-jointed shoulders that can only move out that far. If you're brave, you might move them out a little farther, but I don't want them to break. They can move up and down very nicely. He does have a swivel on the right wrist, none on the left side. I think they just did it right here because you get the part of his sleeve where they could sculpt a joint there. And then he has a swivel at the waist, which is very limited. So the articulation may be extremely limited, but it more than makes up for that in sculpt and paint detail. So now, let's do some size comparisons. So first up, here he is next to Sheva Alomar. Here he is next to the Chainsaw Ganado. Here he is next to the classic Neca Bubba Hotep figure. Here he is next to a modern Neca figure, the Ghostface Inferno figure. Here he is next to the McFarlane 7-inch Rick Grimes figure. I wanted to see how he'd look next to the 7-inch Walking Dead figures, and he actually scales pretty well. He's actually just a little bit taller, but that's probably because of the way Rick's posed. So yeah, if you wanted to use this in your McFarlane Walking Dead display for 7-inch figures, you could also do that. And finally, here he is next to a generic Marvel Legends figure on the Sunfire body mold, PS4 Spider-Man figure, and this doesn't really scale with Marvel Legends. I suppose you could probably fit it into pictures if you really tried, but he's really more in scale with other NECA and McFarlane figures. So overall, if you can find one of these, then I would highly recommend picking this up because NECA did a fantastic job on this. The sculpt and paint detail is crazy. The articulation is pretty lacking because this is more of a statue, but that really doesn't bother me because of how awesome this looks. It would be really cool if NECA would redo these. I think redoing the whole line would be really awesome. I think that would sell really well. But I don't see that happening anytime soon, so this one will do for now. So that's my review. If you like this review, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.